Now, when I first got my hands on the Zenith GFJ at Watches and Wonders in Geneva earlier this year, I was blown away. In fact, in our Kiss Marry Kill wrap-up at the end of the fair, it was my marry. And you can see in that video we shot that I was literally at a loss for words, just gushing over the Zenith. I said then that I had one of the most visceral reactions I've ever had to a watch when I first encountered the GFJ. Such was my immediate love of the thing. But it's easy to get caught up in the mania of a big watch fair. With a bit of distance, how do I feel about it now? Well, over half a year later, and with significantly more time spent with the GFJ, I'm still in love with it. It's a strong contender for the best watch of the year, and that's saying something, even in the context of Zenith's massive 2025. But what makes the GFJ so special? Well, we need to have a bit of a history lesson. GFJ stands for Georges Favre-Jacot, who founded Zenith back in 1865. Favre-Jacot's motivation for founding the manufacturer was nothing less than wanting to create the perfect watch. And he approached this in a methodical, innovative way. Zenith was one of the watch industry's first fully vertically integrated manufacturers, bringing all the disparate elements of watchmaking under one roof. And indeed, that's reflected in the Zenith GFJ. It's exciting because it showcases multiple different elements of Zenith's savoir-faire in one cohesive package, as well as expressing a dimension of watchmaking that we haven't seen from Zenith in a while. But let's get back to the history lesson. Fast forward a few years from Zenith's founding, and the watchmaker was already submitting its movements to timing competitions in its pursuit of chronometric perfection. Zenith took part in these trials as early as 1897, and in fact, over the years, Zenith movements have won a record 2,333 chronometry prizes. That's more than any other brand in the industry. One of those movements would prove to be particularly influential, and it's not the El Primero as you might be guessing. It's the Caliber 135, which was developed to compete in chronometry competitions at observatories like Neuchâtel, Geneva, or Besançon. Originally produced from 1949 to 1962, it alone won 235 chronometry prizes, a record in the history of watchmaking. The Caliber 135 saw a brief and special revival in 2022 when Zenith collaborated with Finnish master watchmaker Kari Voutilainen and auction house Philips on a limited run of 11 watches, utilising new old stock Caliber 135 observatory trial movements. These watches all retailed for well over 100,000 Swiss francs though, making them inaccessible to the vast majority of watch collectors. That brings us to 2025 and the Zenith GFJ, which has fully resurrected the Caliber 135 while also bringing it into the 21st century. While this new Caliber 135 retains the same dimensions and overall design of the historic movement, it's no simple reproduction. Firstly, it now boasts a 72-hour manually wound power reserve, a big boost over the original's 40 hours. It also now has hacking seconds in order to better facilitate accurate time setting, and a balance staff protected by spring-mounted dual settings. It still retains the original movement's signature double arrow-shaped regular, reggae overcall, and 2.5 Hz beat rate, and is regulated to ±2 seconds a day, certified by COSC. However, the biggest noticeable difference is how it's finished. Rather than Côte de Genève, its bridges feature a brick-shaped gear shape pattern, inspired by the Zenith manufacturer's distinctive facade of red and white painted bricks. It might be a reference to a 160-year-old building, but the resulting effect is quite modern, as well as masterful. That story continues when you flip the watch over, which takes me to the next element of Zenith that the GFJ celebrates. Its métier d'art. And it's the dial of the GFJ that had me so immediately smitten. It's constructed from 3 different materials. We have an outer ring in the same brick-shaped guilloche seen on the movement, cast in blue. This is topped by thin 18-karat white gold applied indices, which, alongside the guilloche, provide amazing light play. Then we've got a main dial section made from a big piece of lapis lazuli. This watch might be a tribute to the design codes and technology of the 50s, but stone dials are absolutely on trend right now, making it a prescient choice. Zenith has selected lapis with very few inclusions, providing a rich blue expanse with subtle variations, ensuring that each GFJ is unique. Lastly, we have a section of blue-dyed mother of pearl, forming the small seconds indicator at 6 o'clock. I've personally not seen mother of pearl dyed with such a rich hue, and including it in a masculine dress watch like this, paired with another natural stone, it's kind of out there, although the resulting dial is totally cohesive. Of course, blue is Zenith's signature colour, with most of this year's 160th anniversary pieces celebrating this tone, which Zenith says is emblematic of the brand's connection to the sky and lofty goals for precision. The dial is absolutely meticulously constructed too. As I said back in April, after getting a loop on the watch, the fine details between the guilloche, indexes, pad printing, and hands is just spectacular. All of this gorgeous blue is encased in a luxurious 39mm wide, 10.5mm thick platinum case, which has a stepped bezel and curved stepped lugs, with alternating brushed and polished surfaces. Oh, and those polished surfaces really pop. Being platinum, it has a reassuring heft on the wrist, which can be dialed up to 11 if you choose to option your GFJ with a platinum bracelet. A 7-link design that repeats that brick motif down its central links. However, as standard, the watch comes mounted on a dark blue alligator leather strap, which also has a hand gear shade platinum pin buckle with the same brick motif, which is an elegant touch. Actually, the GFJ comes with 3 straps, an alligator strap, as well as 2 calfskin straps, one in smooth black leather and one in dark blue Saffiano leather. I'll put it to you though, would you wear it on the bracelet or one of the straps? The latter's dressier, while the former is more of a flex. Anyway, let me know in the comments. It should be pretty clear by now that I like this watch. I just think it's such a neat, cohesive expression of Zenith's history and future. It's a timeless, formal design, but it's also quietly bold. Its revived Caliber 135 speaks to the brand's history, but it iterates rather than replicates. Zenith in today's market is mostly known for high-beat chronograph movements and making larger, sporty, contemporary watches. So, to see a more demure, manual winding dress watch with a natural stone dial is a refreshing change of pace. The only negative I have about the Zenith GFJ is that it's a limited edition of 160 pieces. So it's more accessible than the Voigtlainen model, but it's still a rare thing. It's available now with prices starting at $49,900. You'll find a complete list of specs in the description of this video and in our review on timeandtidewatches.com. And if you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, don't be a stranger.